Saturday at the WM, sport, spectacle, and just about everything in between. World number one Scotty Scheffler entering the day 7 shots off the lead of Ryo Hitsatsune. Who will make a move in round 3? Starting off with Scheffler, who had to go pedal to the floor. A little slow out of the gates as he was this weekend. Spotty opening round put him behind the 8 ball, but here comes world number one. The Sandy at the par 4 10th. That's how you make the turn. Scheffler trying to go back-to-back at 11. Birdie putt from 16 feet, a Saturday 67. As Scheffler T16 at 8 under. Finished round 1 T89, now back inside your top 20. Hideki Matsuyama, the betting favorite at the halfway point, 1 shot off the lead, entering the day. And man, we haven't seen many made from there this week. Matsuyama from 47 feet with plenty of borrow. Calm, cool, and collected, the solo lead at that point at 12 under. Sort of a throw your hat into the pool, throw your name into the hat, throw whatever you want, just throw some birdies at the card. Mav McNeely making his move from 33 feet at the 14th. Mav, 4th in the field in putting on Saturday, jumped into a 3-way tie for a share of the lead. Back with Matsuyama at 13 from 54 feet for eagle. Trying to vault to the lead. Tap in birdie, back into a tie for the lead with McNeely. More Hideki in a moment. Nikolai Højgaard surging on Saturday. Pick him up at the last. Throngs of overserved and otherwise enjoying that one. 98 yards, nearly jars it. Would make that for birdie. Højgaard birdied 5 of his final 6 holes for a 65, tied for the best in the field on Saturday. Back to McNeely, trouble at 17. Short-sided in that greenside bunker, and that's going to leave some work to do. With 2 putt from there for bogey to fall out of the lead, still a Saturday 65 for McNeely, despite a pair of bogeys on the card. He sits at 12 under. A couple did better. Did someone say ball striker? Siwoo Kim, the drivable 17th. Maybe a move to be made there on Sunday, and Siwoo says, why wait? A beauty. Rolls out to 39 feet from the cup. 2 putts would be birdie to get within 1 shot of the lead. Siwoo also T2 at 12 under. Pick up your 36-hole leader Ryo Hitsatsune at the par 4 17th as well. Birdie putt for a share of the lead. Putts with water in his mouth. I mean, whatever works, man. Ties fellow countryman Hideki Matsuyama for a share of the lead there at 13 under, but would bogey the last to fall out of that lead. Hitsatsune looking for his first career PGA Tour victory. Hideki's looking for his 3rd at the WM. Would be his 12th career win, 3rd at this place. And despite coming up short there at the last, still a 1-shot advantage for Matsuyama with 18 holes to play. Hideki at 13 under. Your leader as we come down the home stretch, the winner of the 2016 and 2017 WM, trying to claim it again here in 2026. Hideki, 5 for 5 all time when holding an outright lead through 54 holes. And for more, we take you out to the always raucous scene on Saturday at the WM. Trevor Immelman standing by, my man, with thoughts here from what was an exciting day and always is out there. Trev, it's great to be with you. When we look at this leaderboard, it's sort of the early form open, players who have carried form early in the season into this very moment. What do you see when you look at those, let's say, 11 or better right now?
Well, yeah, I think you're exactly right. It's guys that have been carrying form over the last few weeks. Hideki has played solid, and he's come to a golf course here that he loves. He's won it a couple times. He's had 3 other top 10s, and so he clearly feels very comfortable here. He tends to putt better here than he does at any other venue on the PGA Tour. So he's going to be tough to beat tomorrow, but it's going to be a shootout. You got so many guys within 5 of the lead, including Scotty Scheffler. We've seen 62s and 63s and 64s already this week. So looking forward to an exciting finish tomorrow for sure. But as always, the Saturday at the WM doesn't disappoint. It's the wildest day of the year out here.
Survive Saturday and then make your move on a trophy on Sunday. I'm glad you brought up Scotty, because I want you to pull back the curtain for a moment and give us a sense of you're coming on air and the world number one, he's making his move on the golf course. There's a million things to look at the WM. What What does Scotty do to a property when he's making his move on a Saturday the way he did today?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You can absolutely feel the energy, and people are excited to see him. They are starting to really get a feel for his greatness. And when he started going on that run around the turn, and particularly when he held that bunker shot on 10, that is where the majority of the people congregate. The 10th green backs right up to the Coliseum at 16. So the leaders would have heard it coming. They would have seen it on the leaderboard, and they know they're going to have to go out and play well tomorrow. I expect Scotty to shoot something in the mid-60s, and we'll have to just see where the chips fall.
Stadium course is truly a moniker there, not just an idea. It is a stadium set up right behind you there as they come up 18. But I do want to go back to 16. It was a glorified gap wedge on this day, easier said than done across the 70-some players in the field. Proximity to the hole about 25 feet, and it played about even par across the field. What is that exercise on a Sunday with a tournament on the line perhaps, and you're looking at another manageable iron shot in that sort of amphitheater?
Yeah, look, for today, quite honestly, with these conditions, I think, all of us up here in the Super Tower were a little disappointed with what happened at 16. It seemed to be an in-between number for the guys. They were stuck between gap and maybe chipping a little wedge or leaning on a sand wedge. And so we saw a lot of shots to 25 and 30 feet, but really no one that scared the hole other than Davis Thompson. So I would love to have seen a few more birdies to get that crowd revved up. But tomorrow it's going to play much tougher. I mean, they tend to get that whole location in the back portion. And obviously when you're a few holes away from possibly picking up a trophy and that pressure starts to ratchet up, things get a bit more intense. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. But we're supposed to get great weather again, temperature in the mid-80s with hardly any wind. So it'll probably be a shootout for these guys. You take a look at here at the WM. 6 of the last 10 years we've had playoffs, so got to keep an eye on that too.
Always exciting, and another big Sunday coming up on CBS. Trevor Immelman, we appreciate your time as always.
Thanks, Moose.
What a day we have ahead of us, and there's only one place to be. That's with our team, with golf on CBS. Jim Nantz, Trevor Immelman, and our award-winning team taking you through the final scenes Sunday at the WM. 18 holes remain at the WM, but history tells us it might be over. Hideki Matsuyama as a 54-hole leader outright, a perfect 5 for 5 in his career. Sunday, he will look to make it 6 for 6 and win number 12 at the WM. Jason Sobel back in the mix, and we say hello to a native son of the rising sun, Shane Bacon, joining the conversation as well. Bakes, I'm coming to you here first on Hideki and this idea that it's a known task out in front of him, but a decade removed almost from those back-to-back victories at the WM. What did you see a through line maybe from then till now in Hideki's play?
Well, I mean, the pitching around the greens this week has been superb. I mean, we talk so much about the putting, and I love the nugget today on the broadcast about Hideki spending 2 hours a day on his putting. Seems like a wild number for even a pro golfer. Obviously, Hideki needs to refine that part of his game, and it's the one that typically stands out when he doesn't play well. But, I mean, this is probably the best horse for course golf course on the PGA Tour. You either play well here or you don't. I remember years ago, Pat Perez, and Sobel was probably in the media scrum, and he did this, but Pat Perez years ago saying after an opening around 65, they said, "Are you so happy to play well here?" And he goes, "No, not really. I hate this golf course." And when you think about Hideki, I mean, he's the complete opposite. Plays well at this golf course, has won here before, and when he hasn't won, he's put a top 10 or a top 20 on the board. And also, Hideki's a guy. I mean, you mentioned the 54-hole leads. This is a guy as a professional golfer that's 7-1 in his career in playoffs, 2-0 here. So as he gets closer and closer to that finish line here in Scottsdale, it feels like it's going to be a win for Hideki.
Jane, you're right about this being a course for horses. We've, of course, seen Brooks Koepka win here twice. We've seen Scotty Scheffler win here twice. Hideki has won here twice, and he's kind of a different personality than the other two guys. I've always said that it takes a certain kind of player to win at TPC Scottsdale, not just someone who's kind of brash and confident, but somebody who understands their own skill set, who's not going to be bothered by all the noise around them, both figurative and literal. And Hideki's exactly that. I know he's a very sort of introverted guy. The best quote I ever got about him was from a Japanese journalist who said he doesn't speak much English, but he doesn't speak much Japanese either, meaning that he's just a quiet guy, but goes about his business inside the ropes. Some numbers for you guys. So far this week, Hideki ranks 5th in the field in approach, 2nd around the greens. As you said, Shane, he's terrific around the greens most of the time, even better at TPC Scottsdale. Ranks 8th in putting, which actually surprised me a little bit because we did see him, as we were talking last segment, miss a few today that were very makeable. 61st, though, off the tee. And if Hideki's going to win this tomorrow, that driver needs to be a little bit better, but everything else is firing on all cylinders so far.
Shane said 2 hours putting. 2 hours for Hideki putting
2 hours.
But that's only like 5 putts with each one of those different putters that he likes to take.
Hurts my back thinking about that, by the way. That doesn't feel comfortable. And Sobel, I love the off the tee stat you mentioned. He hit it left on 2 and right on 3. Just something to think about tomorrow early in that round if the driver's kind of going both ways for Hideki.
Yeah, Matsuyama, multi-time winner here, as we mentioned, Scheffler as well. The names between those two on the leaderboard, only a handful of wins amongst that crowd as well. Not to say we draw the line there at Scotty. Someone else can come up and make a run for this thing as well, but 8 does feel like a ways back for anyone other than the world number 1. Jason, when you look at Scotty's role on Sunday, the lead didn't move much from him signing the scorecard to then dust settling on Saturday. What is Scotty's role?
Look, he needs to go super low tomorrow. And it's not necessarily the amount of shots that he's back behind Hideki Matsuyama right now. It's how many players, and really good players, are between him and the lead. If he was in 3rd place right now and trailing by the same number, I'd say, okay, Scotty's got a decent chance to go out and catch him tomorrow. But there's a whole lot of players up there. And what they've got in common right now, and I'm going to read some of these names: Nikolai Højgaard, Mav McNeely, Ryo Hisatsune, who we saw in that final group all day, playing great golf until that final hole bogey. Michael Thorbjornsen, Siwoo Kim, Jake Knapp. 2 commonalities here. First of all, they are ball strikers. These guys are some of the best ball strikers on the PGA Tour. I know people who aren't necessarily diehard golf fans hear ball striker, they go, aren't they all ball strikers? Isn't that kind of the whole point of their job? Yes, but some guys do it better than others. Tee to green, these are some of the best in the biz. And the other thing they have in common, they're all playing really good golf. All of them came in with some sort of form, with a few good finishes coming in, some better than others, but all these guys have started the year hot.
I mean, if I'm Scotty, I'm watching I think it's about a 20-minute YouTube tonight of the Olympic final round, and just remind myself that I might can go out and shoot 10 under tomorrow and win this thing and steal it from everybody in front. But I mean, to Sobel's point, there's so many names between him and the top of the leaderboard. I think, comparing this guy to Tiger, right? I mean, it's something that everybody does. It's very lazy, but we typically do it because who else are we going to compare him to? The fact that he's probably going to finish top 5 when he played like the way he played in the opening round, he sounded like a guy that shot 95 after that Thursday round. And the fact that he can get himself back in contention potentially and at least have a chance on Sunday, I mean, that's the floor stuff we talk about with this guy. The floor is so high. A lot of guys missed the cut this week. He's got a chance to potentially win on Sunday. And even if he doesn't, he's going to finish 5th, 6th, 7th.
And it's almost as if this week he can't get a feel for that literal floor. Some low point issues there in round 1. He has stacked a couple positive rounds on top of one another, but I don't know if we grade it out right now. This is, if you asked Scotty himself, C+ game, and he's going to be right there in the mix conceivably when it all is said and done on Sunday as he looks for his 3rd consecutive win. A win in 3 consecutive starts. It'll be the first time he ever did that in his career. Going to have to make a move, but we do have proof of concept there, as you do point out, an Olympic gold coming well from behind, Shane. I know the golf course is always a character in and of its own right this week, Shane. You know it as good as anybody else. That stretch of 15 through 18 and really the whole back 9, it makes for great theater, but it also says, come and get me if you want. We saw more of that on Friday than we did on Saturday. What's the strategy for this chase pack down the stretch come Sunday?
Just got to be aggressive. I mean, you got to be thinking, what Koepka did when he won here for the first time. You got to be thinking, I think it was Hunter Mahan shot 65 on the weekend. You got to go lower than that, I think, on Sunday. But, I mean, it starts really to me after 12. You get through 11 and 12. 10's kind of a sleepy hole, maybe the least interesting hole on the entire golf course. But once you get through 12, you can make par on 11 and 12. that's when you can run. 14 is very difficult with that new tee that Tom Weiskopf put in back in 2015. But basically, outside of that hole, they're all birdie holes, and there's 3 eagle holes on the way in. I mean, you saw what Sahith Theegala did the first 2 rounds. He had 3 eagles. He had 6 total eagles all of last year. Those are opportunities for these guys to go out there and get really aggressive. But if you're 3 or 4 shots back, you got to be thinking 30, 31 on the back at the lowest number, considering who's all ahead of you and what's still available for those guys as well, chasing from behind.
Shane, great point, because we lose sight of how good of a golf course TPC Scottsdale is for tournament golf, because there's a party around. We're talking about 16. We're talking about the drivable 17th. We're talking about all the fans running in at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. We don't talk about the golf course enough. Maybe it's not up there with some of the best courses, the Rivieras, the Muirfield Villages on the PGA Tour. But as far as a tournament golf course, the volatility that we see on this course, I think it's almost second to none. We just see, like you said, eagles available, bogeys available at every turn, and it makes it really fun. And it's going to make it really fun tomorrow. I don't think there's anybody on this leaderboard who's going to feel very comfortable, even on the back 9 with the lead, because a lot of things can happen. You're going to see a lot of changes on this leaderboard.
Plenty of outcomes available, but a win only available to one. And with that, we ask the question, Shane Bacon, who wins the WM?
I mean, we're sitting here, Moose, talking about aggressive play. I mean, who's more aggressive than Siwoo Kim? Who loves firing at dumb flag sticks that you shouldn't fire at? And also, I mean, Sobel mentioned the personality of this golf tournament. I think about Mark Calcavecchia, right? I mean, he was one of the most aggressive players of his era. He loved playing here and winning here. You think about Phil Mickelson, one of the most aggressive players of his era. He loved playing here, and he loved winning here. I think about Siwoo Kim, very similar in terms of those players. He embraces the golf tournament. He embraces the craziness of it. I think he likes the noise, and I think he likes the fact that he needs to go out tomorrow and shoot 63 or 64 to win this thing. I could see if there is somebody chasing maybe outside of the top of that board. I like what Siwoo Kim's able to do, considering the fact that he's going to make a lot of birdies and he's not going to be deterred when he makes a bogey.
I love that idea, and you're right about him being among the most aggressive players on the PGA Tour. I'm going to go with Maverick McNeely for a couple of reasons. First of all, just a very talented ball striker. He's in form, coming off a top 10 finish last week at Torrey Pines. Just feels like we're ready for a Maverick McNeely second victory. Won the RSM Classic a couple of years ago. I thought last year was going to be a big breakthrough year. It was a step in the right direction in his career progression. Hasn't quite gotten there yet, but I'm ready for him to win a big one. And, oh, by the way, I've already got him targeted to win next week at Pebble Beach, the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I'm sort of hedging my bets here. If he wins and beats me to it, that's okay. But if not, I'm probably still going to be on him next week anyway.
All right, first show bet of the season. We're going to roll it out there like this. If it's Hitsatsune, we all have to do the water in the mouth putting this summer. At least for one full round, we got to do the water in the mouth putting. I know Shane's already tried.
100%. I'm down for it. Let's go.
Shane Bacon,
I thought you were going to say
Jason
we have
Silva.
to talk on air with the water in our mouth.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, fellas.